What's up, guitar legends? Sam Wild here. Today you are going to be writing your own song using just a dice and a coin. So before we start, make sure you have these items. So all you need is pen and paper just to write down as we go along, and you also need one die and a coin as well. The capo, that's an optional thing, as you'll see. You don't actually need that. Okay, it's just an option. So let's get started. Obviously you will need an instrument. You can use a piano or a guitar. All right, I've got a guitar with me today. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that I have not had my haircut for months due to COVID-19, and it is looking pretty dang ridiculous. Before we dive into this as well, I just want to point out this is actually a really fun thing to do, as you will see. But also, if you're having a little bit of lack of motivation, or you just can't be bothered to start writing a song, this kind of just throws you into it, gives you a chord progression and a melody idea, and then as you'll see, we do get creative later on once we get to that melody stage. All right, so let's dive into step number one. For step number one, you will need your coin. Okay, we're going to choose between major and minor. Heads is major, tail is minor. So flip this, boosh, heads. All right, so we're going to do major. So write down major so you don't forget. The next thing, you will need your dice, all right, because we want to select the key. All right, so look at the musical alphabet. It goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it's just a big circle, right? So roll this twice, add up the total, and then bounce along from A. First roll, we have 6. Second roll, we have 6. So I'm going to go from A, I'm going to do 12 step. Alright, so I've landed on the key of F. So now we have F major. Again, write it down. Now the default for this game is we're going to have 4 chords in our chord progression, and we're not going to use a capo. Alright, but if you want to get a little more experimental, and this is your second or third time watching this video, right, you can decide whether or not you're going to use a capo. Heads is yes, tails is no. So let's see if I flip this. Tails is no. Let's pretend it was a yes. All right, let's pretend it was heads, and you are going to use your capo. Right. The next stage would be to roll the dice. Anything between 1 and 4 counts, which will decide our fret. So 3. All right, I rolled a 3, so you could put the capo on fret 3. All right. So that's an optional thing to do with the capo. Okay, I'm not going to bother today for those of you that don't have a capo. The next optional step works for piano as well. We can decide whether or not we want 3 chords in our chord progression or 4 chords. All right. Again, use the coin. Heads 3 chords, tails 4 chords. All right. We have boosh, tails 4 chords. All right. So 4 chords. All right. Now we need to choose our chords from our key of F. If you don't know music theory, let me just quickly show you how to do this. If we're in a major key, the sequence is always the same. We have major, minor, minor, major, major, minor. Okay, and because we're in the key of F, we are going to have F, G, A, B flat, C, D, then E. That last chord is a half diminished chord. We're not going to bother with that. It's a little bit tricky to fit into a chord progression. If we're in a minor key, we just start from the 6th chord. So we go minor, half diminished, major, minor, minor, major, major. So as you've probably guessed, we are going to use our die. We're going to roll it 4 times to get 4 numbers for our chord progression. All right. I like to use the rule that we're not going to use the same chord more than once, unless it's maybe the one chord, the root chord. That might work. But let's just do 4 different chords. All right. So now chord number 1, I rolled a 1, so we've got F. Chord number 2, I rolled a 2. Sorry, so we have G minor. Rolling it again, 3. Now we have A minor. Rolling it again, 4. Wow, so we're going up in numbers. The 4th chord is B flat. So at the moment, because by the way, we can get a little creative here on the chords if it doesn't sound very good. We have F, G minor, A minor, B flat. Okay, so it's not bad, but let me show you some substitute options we can use. At the moment we have 1, 2, 3 and 4. a substitute you can do is 2 for 4, 1 for 3, or for 6. You can swap any of those with each other. The 5 chord is pretty much the 5 chord. Now at the minute, I don't really like the fact it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very strange. So I'm going to swap the 2 and the 4 around. So now we have F, B flat, A minor, G minor, now, we've still got this kind of step down, dun, dun, dun. I still don't like the A minor, so I might try swapping that out for the 6th chord. So now we have F, B flat, D minor, G minor. Alright, so now it sounds a little strange as well. So we can play about still, we can swap those 2 and 4 back again. So now we have F, we have G minor, D minor, B flat. Sounds like this. Ooh, see, that's better. Okay, so now it sounds pretty cool. So you see what I did there? All I did, I swapped, you've got the home chords, you've got the going away chords, and you've got the coming back to home chord. So you just play about with those and then find one that you like. So as you can see at this stage, we've got a little bit creative, but we're still letting something else decide for us. Before we move on to the final step, we can add the capo if we have, I've got quite a lot of bar chords in this progression. So if I put the capo on the 1st fret, I can take all my chords back 1 note. So it's still in the key of F, by the way, but I'm going to be thinking it differently. So F, you go backwards to E, G goes backwards to F sharp, D minor goes back to C sharp, B flat goes back to A. Right, now I can play E, F sharp, minor 7 maybe, C sharp minor, then A. So now I've got more open strings, it sounds a bit nicer. Now if you're thinking, hold on, how did you come up with the strumming pattern? You can do anything, you can keep it simple. Just do that if you want, or boom, 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 boom. Okay, so the rhythm you can get creative with. It's just difficult to decide the rhythm with dice and the coin. That will take a little while. Now our final step is to come up with a melody. Obviously you could just sit there and sing some ideas, but I know some of you might not be singers and some of you might still want a bit more inspiration. So let's break our scale up into the pentatonic scale. So if you write this down, the pentatonic scale actually misses out notes 7 and notes 4. So for F, we are gonna miss out E and we're gonna miss out B flat. So now we can roll the dice. Anything that's not a 4, we can count. All right, so we're gonna come up with 3 options, a 3-note option, 5-note, and a 7-note option. So right now, 3, 5, 7. So the 3-note option, we are gonna use our dice. Don't worry if you get duplicate notes, that's fine. Maybe not 3 of the same note in a row, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. So we have, for our 3-note melody, a 1, all right. We start on an F, that's nice, it's the root. A 6, we've got a D, it's a bit of a big jump for a melody, we might change that. Ooh, wow, let me do that again. 3, all right, F, D, A. All right, F, D, A, so remember there's a capo one, so you still want to play an actual F, and an actual D, actual A. So we have these notes. Okay, but remember there's different ways of playing these 3 notes. So we could actually go, or, so use these 3 notes, play your chord progression, see if you can fit them in. Okay, and this is going to be our first melody option. So play your chord progression, try and hear that over the top. So we have dun, dun, dun. You can always change it if your brain wants to. So I'm going, then. So I changed that very last note. You can sing a 3-note melody twice and maybe alter it. Alright, so that's melody option number 1. Number 2, we're going to use 5 notes. Alright, so we might not be able to fit a repeat in. So we have 5, which is a C, 6, which is a D. I like it when the melodies are close, that's good. 1, F, oh, it's a bit of a jump. 1, F again, that's fine, that's 2 in a row. We've got one more. Oh, 3. 3 is A, alright. Now 5 notes is a little harder to remember, so play it a few times. We got C, D, F, F, A. You can try a few different rhythms, so maybe this. You can add that. If you want me to, you can make it better. My brain wants to slide down from the A, so you can always change one note. Alright, so that's a 5-note option. Lastly, we're going to do a 7-note option, which sounds like a lot of notes, but sometimes that can work well. Alright, note number 1. 3, so we have an A. 4. Well, we're not allowed to use a 4. If you hit a 4, roll again. 3, A again. Oh, 2, okay, G, 6, D, 2, G, 2, G again, and last one, 3, A again. Okay, I have a feeling this one's going to work nicely because there's some repetition and the notes are close. So, we have A, G, D, G, G, A. Could do that. A, G, D, G, G, A. Like so. If you wash my hair. If you want to wash my hair? It's amazing the lyrics that come out when you start trying to just make a melody. The words make no sense. Alright, so again, I've changed the last note just so there's a variation on the repeat. So I actually like this 7-note one the best. Adjust it. Alright, I think the winner is the 7-note melody. So the cool thing about the pentatonic scale is it doesn't really ever clash with any chord that we're using here. You can use the other 2 notes. If you want to, they can sound really nice over certain chords, but they can also clash with certain chords, which is why I've eliminated them for the sake of this game. Obviously, you can bring them in if you want to. Alright, I want to just demonstrate one more example of this. I'll just race through one I've already done. This was actually the first attempt I tried. I've got it written here. Hilariously, it was a really common key of C major. Alright, the chords I had, I ended up with chords 2, 6, 4, and 5. So that's D minor, A minor, F, G, and then I rolled the dice for the melodies. I had, for the 3-note, E, A, F, 5-note, C, G, A, A, D, 7 notes, A, E, C, A, C, A, D. Again, the creative part you might find difficult, so let me go over that part. Alright, so the first option we had was E, A, F. So immediately I think, doesn't sound very nice. So this melody jumps around a lot. But this can kind of work if you're doing something a bit more rocky, like the band Muse might do something like this. So this is quite cool, 3-note melody. Next we have C, G, A, A, D. We could do a lower A. So we could try dun, 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 like that. Again, you can play around the rhythm. I'm not a fan of that one. 7 notes, let's play the notes a bit quicker because there's a lot to fit in. We have A, E, C, E, C, E, D. Alright, so you can sort of adjust it as you go. Alright, 1 die, 1 coin, and we came up with a lot of creative ideas there. Obviously, we didn't write an entire song. That takes a lot more time. You need to come up with the lyrics, theme for the lyrics, get that verse, that chorus. But hopefully it gave you an idea for the catchy part of the song, the hook, the chorus. Everything else can be built around that. All right. The point in this is it's a fun thing to do to get you writing songs. A lot of people can't be bothered to start. They don't have the motivation to begin. That is usually the issue with songwriters. They don't know where to begin. Once they get started and they're fine, their creative juices get flowing, all these ideas come to their mind like, oh, okay, yeah, now I can do this. Oh yeah, and then the melody can do that, and then the chorus can go here. But you need to just get something in the beginning to work with, and this is a really fun way of doing that. So give it a try, see how you get on. Now, sometimes you might land on a horrible key that's difficult to work with on your particular instrument, whether you're on piano or guitar. If that happens, on guitar, sometimes you can use the Capo to get around that, make nice, easier open chords, replace the bar chords, right? But you can just change the key, guys. Just roll again, just get a nicer key, start again if you're getting something that's just a bit difficult, right? So then you still don't have to make the decisions. You still allow the dice and the coin to make the decisions, but it just takes a few tries maybe before you land on a nice key. If this video was of value to you, please hit that like button, all right? Make sure you subscribe as well. Hit that bell icon so you get the notifications, all right? Thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. For those of you that want to take your playing to the next level, make sure you sign up to my premium membership website. You'll gain access to all my backing tracks, all of my lessons, and I'll teach you how to improvise, solo, and play advanced chords.